over. From the top rope, face first goes Bryan. This was ugly.
This was desperation from Daniel Bryan. It was effective.
Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notifications. And once you're done, leave a comment down below and I just might end up responding. From a wrestler's finisher to their entrance, moveset to promos, every little aspect of what you see on the screen comes together to form a complete package. And a criminally underrated aspect of what makes a wrestler is the wardrobe. What you wear really does play a role. I mean, just saying names like Shawn Michaels or Bret Hart probably puts a perfect image in your mind right now. Hell, Hulk Hogan has basically one of the most iconic outfits in all of entertainment, and Stone Cold's simple getup only furthered him as a badass in the eyes of many. Unfortunately, just like everything else we talk about on this channel and WWE in general, sometimes it all goes to shit. I'm D-Wicked from Watch WWE. Go wash your hands already.
Be sure to get under those fingernails. And don't forget about the knuckles.
And here's 10 WWE wardrobe malfunctions. Number 10, Charlotte. One of the most imbalanced sounding matchups I think I've ever heard. Charlotte was wrestling against Lana when her wardrobe malfunction took place. Seriously, that match sounds atrocious. The early August 2017 edition of SmackDown Live kicked off a bit oddly as these two ladies took to the ring and almost immediately put on a show no one was expecting to pay for. As Lana is, how you say, dog inside the squared circle, she's pretty prone to botches and just generally getting things wrong. For example, just a minute into their match, Lana gets flipped over Charlotte instead of smoothly sliding over her body. She kind of clings on way too close to Charlotte's, well, and so her body kind of naturally pulled her shorts down all the way, leaving a few dudes in the crowd way too happy.
That's what we're seeing right here. Lana did come very close to winning the SmackDown. Came incredibly close. She almost shocked the world. Trying to outpower.
Number 9, AJ Styles. And speaking of unexpected ass, AJ, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! The fuck? During his fantastic feud with Dean Ambrose over the WWE title during the back half of 2016, the pair squared off in one of the best modern TLC matches on the same named pay-per-view you'll ever see. During the match, I'm not quite sure how he did it, whether it was via TLC or option D, but Styles managed to get a decent-sized hole out of his pants right where his ass was. So basically, anytime Styles' back was to the camera during the second half of the match, you were being greeted to a whole lot of AJ.
Some call it a blessing. You be the judge. Don't it look good?
Number 8, Nikki Bella. The Nikki twins. The Bella twins are no strangers to the old wardrobe malfunction, which really shouldn't even come as a surprise if you've ever looked at what they're wearing. Very much products of the Diva era, if not literally its best representatives, the girls have each suffered multiple slip-ups. While Nikki's worst didn't happen on WWE television, it did take place on the Bella's YouTube channel and basically exposed an entire one of Nikki's Bellas.
Come here, look at, here's my baby. Say hi. Come here, Ben. Come here. Say hi.
Number 7, Brie. May as well get both of the Bellas out of the way, seeing as you knew her sister was going to be here too. In order to promote the upcoming debut of Total Divas way back in 2013, Jesus Christ, it's going to be 8 years old, WWE threw all of the cast out in the ring for a special edition of Miz TV that, believe it or not, was boring as piss. The only real note of intrigue from the entire night was when the camera panned across all the ladies, and as that camera swept past Nikki and Brie Bella, right there out in the open, clearly exposed to the cameras and thousands of fans and families in attendance, was one of Brie's nipples just chilling, waving hello to the fans.
It will be awesome.
Not quite the way I think the king wanted things to go. Should we call it? She stood out.
Number 6, Rosa Mendes. Did you guys know that Rosa Mendes retired from WWE all the way back in February of 2017? I'm not gonna lie, in the prep for this video, I had to look up her name again just to see if she was still signed to the company. The girl hasn't wrestled for 3 years. This should all about sum up where Rosa's place was on the WWE totem pole during her tenure, so unsurprisingly, this here wardrobe malfunction, pretty much her magnum opus. AJ might have done it with a little more style, and Charlotte's facial reaction did make a great moment, but when it comes to the bare spot, you gotta give credit to the OG, cause Rosa did it first.
And Rosa's all fired up here tonight. Look at Layla.
Number 5, AJ Lee. If you grew up during the early 2010s and you watched the old WWE, you probably remember 4 women total. Nikki Bella, Brie Bella, Caitlyn, and AJ Lee, and that's not by accident. While the former 2 were essentially spearheaded as the epitome of the Divas era, Caitlyn and AJ Lee shined throughout that void of talent through, well, sheer talent, which kinda makes it sad looking back on how both of them left the business before women were ever truly taken seriously. When it comes to AJ Lee, here's a fun little fact. CM Punk is very widely known as my favorite wrestler of all time, but AJ is far and away, still to this day, my favorite female wrestler of all time. And I couldn't tell you a single match she was ever in. I don't remember. I barely even can picture her Black Widow finisher. But just like Punk, she's shown through via charisma and storyline capability. Now, let's throw all of this positive buildup and affirmation out the window because, oh, look, it's a bra. Rather unfortunate for AJ, and probably fortunate for 13-year-old me. Just as she was seductively licking her hand and crawling onto her knees, her shirt just happened to be lifted up just a tad bit too high.
Well, AJ and Ziggler victorious.
Number 4, Eva Marie. I mean, technically, right? If there's ever a justifiably best wardrobe malfunction, I think it has to be this one by default, because it's the only one they actually meant to do. That second word, malfunction, pretty much means that they're always accidental, but in building this new Eva Marie character who kept finding different ways to avoid having to wrestle, her randomly losing her top before facing off against Becky Lynch and having to be escorted to the back was actually pretty damn genius.
Becky Lynch is good, but good.
Number 3, Daniel Bryan. I did not need to see Daniel Bryan's junk in my lifetime, but alas, it has happened. Thankfully, I didn't get a look at the full planet's penis, but during his Elimination Chamber opening matchup against Drew Gulak, one of D-Bry's nuts decided to come out and play. I'll be honest, I'm not smart enough of a wrestling fan to properly tell you what this move is that Gulak is hitting on Bryan when it happened, but whatever he did was so utterly catastrophic to Bryan's body that it caused the clothing to just want to seep away from his body, leading to this unfortunate overexposure for a brief period of the match. So, if anyone's in the market for one of Daniel Bryan's balls, have at it, I guess.
It is over. From the top rope, face first goes Bryan. This was ugly.
This was desperation from Daniel Bryan. It was effective.
Number 2, Sasha Banks. And just as Daniel got to somewhat kick off 2020 with a wardrobe controversy, Sasha Banks was kicking off 2019 the exact same way. In a tag team match pitting Banks and best friend Bayley against Ronda Rousey and Natalya, that's weird. Banks ended up in an odd situation when her entire wrestling shorts fell down, not unlike Charlotte in the first entry, exposing the entirety of Banks' thong to the crowd, and unfortunately, the camera that was focused, directly on her ass.
And now turns her attention to Sasha Banks. Hey, Sasha, however, with a knee right to the midsection. And now
Sasha's also run into similar issues at both of her Hell in a Cell matches, ironically enough, although those were more of just tights being pulled up way too tight.
And now Charlotte looking to take advantage. Champion on the table.
Ragdolling Banks into the table.
Honorable mention! Let's throw one out to Shawn Michaels. This list has pretty clearly been more the kind of malfunction where some inappropriate body part is trying to break free from censorship and say hello to everybody. But as far as any other kind of wardrobe malfunction, you gotta give credit to Shawn for having easily the most entertaining. And number 1, Stephanie McMahon. Yeah, there was no way this wasn't winning. And what has to be the most Attitude Era thing to ever happen, Triple H was busy manhandling his girlfriend, wife, I don't know, something at the time. I'll be honest, I'm not sure whatever their relationship was then. The fact that Steph's real-life husband is the one causing the malfunction is hilarious. As he puts Stephanie into position for the pedigree, her right boob can clearly be seen flopping out of position and just sort of dangling there for an unfortunate number of seconds.
She was gonna have your children, Triple H! No, wait! Triple H gonna set up the pedigree!
And those are 10 WWE wardrobe malfunctions. What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments down below. After liking the video, subscribe to the channel, and notifications, ring that bell.